You know what's fascinating? Most people think Catholics worship Mary like a goddess, but there's actually this incredibly nuanced theological framework that's been carefully crafted over 2,000 years to prevent exactly that misconception.
That's really interesting, and Pope John Paul II specifically addressed this, right? He talked about this infinite distance between honoring Mary and actually worshiping God.
Exactly. And what's particularly striking is how the church developed this sophisticated distinction between what they call veneration and actual worship. It's like the difference between deeply respecting a remarkable historical figure versus pledging absolute devotion to a divine being.
Well, that makes me wonder, how does the church handle something as significant as calling Mary the Mother of God without crossing that line?
Oh, that's where it gets really fascinating. The title Theotokos was actually proclaimed at the Council of Ephesus, not primarily to honor Mary, but to affirm Christ's divinity. It's like every Marian doctrine has this dual purpose. It tells us something about her while pointing back to God.
The way you describe that makes it sound like Mary's role is both active and self-effacing at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And you can see this perfectly in the wedding at Cana story. She brings a need to Jesus' attention, but her only recorded words are, "Do whatever he tells you." Even in this first miracle, she's directing attention away from herself and toward her son.
That's such a sophisticated theological position, acknowledging both the emotional and doctrinal aspects while keeping them properly balanced.
And what I find particularly compelling is how John Paul II used this concept of filial devotion, the love of children, for their mother. It's such a beautifully human way to understand the spiritual relationship, while still being distinct from the all-encompassing love we're called to have for God.
So it's like the church found this universal language of maternal love while maintaining its specific theological meaning?
Exactly. And when we look at the titles given to Mary Comforter, Advocate, Helper, the Church carefully explains how these actually highlight the work of the Holy Spirit rather than compete with it. It's this intricate theological dance that maintains proper focus while acknowledging Mary's unique role.
Well, that really speaks to how durable this framework has been through centuries of cultural changes and theological developments.
And you know what's really remarkable? How this devotion has evolved while staying true to its essence. The Second Vatican Council emphasized that Marian devotion, when done correctly, actually enhances, rather than detracts from worship of the Trinity.
That's fascinating. It's like they've created this perfect theological ecosystem where everything remains in balance.
And perhaps what's most significant is how this provides such a deeply human connection point for people's faith. Through Mary, people can relate to these profound theological truths in a more accessible way, while always being led toward a deeper relationship with God.
The way you put that really highlights how this isn't just clever theology. It's about making these deep spiritual truths accessible to everyday people.
Exactly. And that's why I think this framework has endured for so long. It manages to satisfy both our human need for maternal comfort and our spiritual need for proper theological understanding. It's really quite brilliant when you think about it.